Okay, I'm going to read from a section in the third part of the novel, and it's now 1971. Idi Amin has come to power, and there is a shift in the air in Uganda, but only at this point, only I would say the more sensitive people are picking up on it. Mumtaz is one of those people, and she's starting to notice this shift. Mumtaz is walking on a dirt road. She is alone. She has dropped Karim at school and has decided to get some fresh air. A week earlier, Mumtaz had an IUD inserted. After her miscarriage 6 months earlier, she began taking birth control pills. For months, this made her sick, nauseated, almost as though she were pregnant again. When she asked the doctor to perform a tubal ligation, he laughed. "You are only 26 years old. You have no idea yet what life will bring." She did not know there were other options, more easily reversible options. With the IUD, Mumtaz feels in control. She feels no longer afraid of her body, of what it can do, of what it can cause her to do. After seeing her son off at school, she didn't want to rush home. She wanted to be away from home, where she has hidden for months, and move freely. So she has begun to walk on a dirt road, the BMW parked in front of Karim's school. As Mumtaz walks aimlessly, she finds herself at the Barara Country Club. Karim's English nursery school is located next to the club's golf course. A year ago, when his teacher at the Aga Khan school told Mumtaz that her son was a slow learner, she did not say a word. The next day, she removed him from class, forfeiting the term's fees, and enrolled him at the English school. Within days, the new teacher told Mumtaz that her son was clever. "We have found the right place for him," Mumtaz said. The portly Englishwoman smiled. Mumtaz begins to walk towards the clubhouse. She is wearing a pale yellow tunic. It is embroidered with matching threads, with matching thread, and reaches just below her hips. After she bought the tunic, she stitched darts into it so that it fits her snugly, so that it does not hang on her small frame and hide it. Her white fitted trousers reach mid-calf. She is wearing brown leather chumpals. The leather of the chumpals is distressed, worn out. Mumtaz wears them only at home. But this is the first day she has driven Karim to school in months, and without thinking, she left the house wearing them. A man wearing a dirtied white hat, the mashamba, presumably, is crouched in front of a hedge near the clubhouse. He is pruning flowers. She stops and stares at him. When he looks up, she smiles. He lowers his eyes and nods and then continues his work. Mumtaz prunes the flowers in her garden, though the family has a gardener. This man's work is careful. He is not pruning more than necessary, which Mumtaz often does, cutting the healthy with the sick in her desire for neatness, for order. The sound of voices draws her attention away from the mashamba. Two English women emerge from the clubhouse. They are wearing short, pleated white tennis skirts. The skirts are crisp, as are their white shirts. The clothes have been pressed, carefully ironed. The women are engrossed in a conversation, and as they walk, their faces are turned to each other, animated, only inches apart. One of the women has long brown hair she has pulled into a ponytail. She is holding her wooden racket, balancing it on her shoulder. Mumtaz can see that her fingernails have been painted pink. The other woman has black hair cut to her chin. The hair is parted to one side, and an invisible pin holds it off her face. She is swinging her racket beside her, tapping it sometimes against the side of her bare knee. Both of the women are thin, too thin. They appear unhealthy, undernourished. Their skin is tanned, but it looks weathered, old, though the women must be young, Mumtaz thinks, no older than she is. Behind them, an African child walks out through the clubhouse door. He is wearing an oversized brown t-shirt and red trousers that are too short and tight for him. The clothes are faded. His feet are bare. He is holding a pail full of white tennis balls. He is a small boy, not much bigger than Karim, who is 4 and tall for his age. But Mumtaz knows this boy must be older. The threesome walks by Mumtaz. The women don't notice her standing next to the hedge, next to the mashamba. The boy sees her. He does not smile, though she smiles at him. But he keeps looking at her. It is aggressive, challenging, this gaze he holds on her. Mumtaz feels her body stiffen. She is frightened, but she does not know of what she is afraid. Surely not of a child, a poor African child? He smirks. She lowers her eyes. When she looks up, he is still looking at her, his head turned back. He keeps looking at her until he is forced to walk backwards, until he stumbles and drops the pail, the white balls tumbling onto the grass. He stops and quickly picks them up. The Mashamba looks at him and shakes his head. The women do not appear to notice and continue to walk towards the courts. Once the balls are collected, he gives Mumtaz one more long glance. Then he springs up, turns around, and runs to catch up to the women. Mumtaz walks back to her car. She regrets going for the walk. She regrets going to the clubhouse. She does not know what drew her there. She has never liked it. She has never liked walking through its doors and watching Jafar become awkward. She cringes when she sees him wearing the ridiculous white shorts that make his thin, brown legs look thinner, browner, when she hears him speak English with a forced accent, trying to please, to impress, to belong. Each time Jafar brings her into the building with its wooden dance floor, its walls lined with plaques showcasing unpronounceable English names, its bar stocked with bottles of liquor, and its shelves holding piles of Life magazines, she feels her lungs constrict and her throat dry up, as though if she were forced to remain in this place, she would die, like a blood-red Ixora in the pale, parched desert.